Hello, hello! I just got back from my dream trip to Korea and Japan, and I'm feeling super creatively energized from all the amazing experiences I had, and of course, all of the fantastic art store shopping I did in Tokyo. I want to show you what I got and share some information on how tax-free shopping works, which stores participate in tax-free shopping, and how to get your haul home safely. I wanted to buy Japanese art supplies while in Japan because they're just so much cheaper there than they are in the West. As an example of a difference in price, one Copic sketch marker costs around $8 US, but it's only $2.90 in Japan, which is almost a third of the price in the West. So what are some quality Japanese art brands that I was keeping an eye out for? To start with, Copic markers. They're professional grade alcohol markers. Paints like Turner and Holbein, they make acrylic gouache, and watercolor paints. Kuretake paints, they're known for their watercolors as well as brush pens. Sakura, they make the micron fine liners, the jelly roll pens, and the koi watercolor paints. And then we have our pen companies like Pentel, Pilot, and Mitsubishi Pencil Company. So not only are these brands generally less expensive in Japan, but you can also get them tax-free from participating stores, which is a 10% savings if you meet the minimum purchase requirement of 5,500 yen with tax, or around $38 US. Just remember that you have to have your passport on you to be eligible. Anyway, I knew I wanted to purchase some heavy art supplies, and I wanted to avoid carrying all that extra weight around because we were going to many places in Japan. So I saved all of my art shopping for Tokyo since that was our end destination. I visited Sekaido's flagship store in Shinjuku, Itoya in Ginza, as well as multiple Loft and Hands stores. There were some other stores I wanted to get to, like tools and pigments, but I ran out of time, and honestly I was getting pretty shopped out. So plus my haul is large enough, I don't need more stuff. But anyway, I was most excited to visit Sekaido as it's 6 stories tall and absolutely packed with goodies. But actually the ground floor is devoted to stationery goods and the top floors are for framing and classes. So really you only have 3 stories of art supplies to get lost in, but that was more than enough for me because I wound up spending 28,000 yen or $195 on this stuff. So I only own 1 set of gouache paints, the Winsor & Newton Designer's Gouache. It's a set of 10, but when you get rid of the black and the white that come with it, that's only 8 colors. And that's just not enough for me. I figured that out. Technically, you're supposed to be able to mix all the colors if you have a warm and a cool of red, blue, and yellow, plus white and black. But I haven't always been able to dial in on the colors I actually want. So, instead of working on my color theory and figuring it out, which one day I will, I decided to expand my range and get some Holbein gouache paints. Originally, I was planning on getting a much larger set, but I don't know, I felt like maybe that wasn't the best use of my money, or it seemed maybe a bit too extravagant, so I just went for the 24 set. I'm really excited to give these a try. They look so beautiful, and it's already so many more colors than I already have. So yeah, I got gouache from Holbein, but I also picked up acrylic gouache from Holbein because I've been interested in it for a while and I've wanted to try it, but it's expensive in my country, so I sprang for it while I was in Japan. And also while I was there, I stumbled across the pastel set, which is so pretty. I tried to walk away from it multiple times. I went to Sekaido 3 times while I was sort of price comparing with other stores and hemming and hawing about what I should get because I try not to buy too many art supplies. So I really wanted to think it through, and I couldn't say no to these. How beautiful are they? Technically you can mix pastels pretty easily, I think, but I'm coming to the realization that I just might be a little bit lazy, and also if I go ham on these colors, then it would just be nice to not have to mix constantly. Okay, so yeah, I got some acrylic gouache from Holbein as well as the original gouache, and I picked up some other paints. I got these graphite colors by Kuretake. They're so beautiful. I love how dark and rich they are. I don't know that you can really tell. And I also read on their website that if you kind of buff them out with your fingers, then that shininess that you can see in graphite lead will come through. And then also, because I am such a sucker for vibrant, bold colors, I snatched this up immediately. I'm not familiar with Lumi at all. I don't know if it's good paints, but you know, I had no choice in the matter. I had to get them. I also picked up more fluorescents from Holbein. These are just regular, wait, are these acrylic gouache? Artist acrylic polymer. Ah, yeah, okay, so I guess they're acrylic gouache. Huh, I didn't realize that. Are they though? They must be. Well, I guess I'll find out when I use them. And then I also, this is the only Turner paint I purchased. It's this Lame Clear Diamond. It's shiny, therefore I needed it. Therefore I have it. I also picked up a few other things, like downstairs I picked up some refills for my friction ball pins, because I am obsessed with friction ball pins, but they're really expensive where I live. I bought a refill and it was like €9 for just 2 or 3 cartridges, which was painful. These by comparison were so cheap. And then I also got some colored lead. I've seen some people using these online, I think namely Gabriella Nico. So I wanted to give these a try. I also picked up some washi tape. And I picked up my first set of brush pins. I own the Tombow dual brush pins, but they're not like the traditional ones where the brush can sort of split because it's hairs. So I wanted to try one of these. And then I also saw good things about this. I have the jelly roll pins. I actually don't like them that much. The size 10 is the only one that reliably puts out any liquid, but then that can also be too thick, so I'm hoping that I can get some really fine, bold lines with this. This is everything I got from Sekaido, and it ran me around $195. But I also purchased stuff from these other stores, and I'll show you those in a second, but I just wanted to quickly say that their supplies are 20% off, and they do not offer tax-free purchases. I also mentioned that I visited 3 times, and every time, first of all, the aisles are quite narrow. Every time I was there, they were pretty packed with locals and tourists. So if you do go, I would really recommend that you leave your large backpacks at home because it just makes it that much more difficult to navigate for yourself and everyone else that's there. I've seen a lot of footage on YouTube of people going there and it looks very peaceful and relaxing, but that was not my experience. It was busy every time and I went at different times of day. So that's just something to keep in mind, a little reality check that not everything you see on YouTube is accurate. Unless you go there maybe first thing in the morning, I'm not sure. Sekaido has a wide offering of paints and were actually the cheapest I found out of all 4 stores. For instance, the Holbein 15ml gouache 24 set, this one, it costs 8,448 yen or $58 US. So that's why I snapped these up at Sekaido. Even though they had a really wide array of basically everything, they do not carry Copic markers. Okay, let's do Loft next. So Loft is a great store for pins and stationery supplies. I had no idea that I even wanted pins until I tried all the pins at Loft because they put everything out for you to try. Though, just a heads up, try the pins that say sampler on them. Don't use the ones that still have like the wax cap at the end of them. That's just good manners, I would say. So yes, I went there just to look around and I accidentally spent 13,000 yen or around 90 bucks. Yeah, and also because this is necessary, it's necessary guys, just believe me on this. I picked up this pencil case at one of the Pokemon centers. It's really cute. Like, Pikachu isn't my favorite. I personally think there are way better Pokemon. Drifloon, Chandelure, Jolteon, Totodile, you name it. But The reason I got it is because it has this design style called a Paco tray, which is, it opens up really nicely and it makes it, oh my, it's magnetic, what the, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. That's so cool, that made it so much cooler. So it really opens up, makes it really easy to access your supplies, which is a major upgrade for me because I've been using this pencil case for ages now. I think I bought this in like university or high school, and it's fine. You just sort of have to like dig for everything that you want. So I was super stoked to find this, and it was also very handy for storing all of the pins I purchased while I was there. So I think I mentioned already, I'm obsessed with the friction line pins because they're erasable. So basically they're pencils in a pin body, which I think is so cool. That may or may not have something to do with my perfectionism, something I'm working on. But they have different like sublines within the friction line. So these are called ways, W-A-A-I, ways, I don't know. And I got all of these. They're all in colors, like they're muted colors that I don't really do muted colors, that I don't gravitate towards that kind of color palette, but on paper they look really nice and I loved the way they wrote. So I got a few of those. I also got some rainbow pencils because I just cannot resist and they look so nice. I also got highlighters in the friction line. Friction Light, natural color. They are erasable. Like, what the heck? Erasable highlighters? Heck yeah, I'm in. So I got a few of those, and they are also sort of muted. Honestly, like, I love fluorescent colors, but reading highlighted text in a fluorescent color is kind of garish. It's not terribly pleasant, so I'm happy to have those. Then I also got, oh yeah, I didn't get these from Loft. These are from Pokemon Centers. We'll start with these because they're amazing. They're also friction pins, and they came in different generations. So originally I found just Gen 1 Kanto, and I thought it was such a cute idea, and I'm a Poke nerd, so I was like, yeah, I gotta have this. The art is a little infantile for me, I think, but it's still cute, so I got it. And then later at a different Pokemon Center, I found Gen 2 Johto, and I snapped that up because look how cute it is. It's fall themed. Look how cute Cyndaquil is, and Totodile, and there's even a Ho-Oh with a feather. It's so cute. Yeah, so I have two of those. And then I also picked up some other Juice Up pins. Juice Up is made by Pilot, I think. Yeah, Pilot pins. I heard some people talk about these online, so I was like, I'll get a few of them. And I didn't even know that pins could come in a size 0.3. Like, that's such a fine tip. That's wild. I use a 0.5 in most cases just because I thought that was the finest you could go, and I write really small, so I need a small nib. So I'm super excited to use those. Then I also picked up Pilot Kakuno, which is considered like an entry-level fountain pen. So I decided to pick one up. They were super cheap. I could have easily gotten more, but because I don't know that I'm really into fountain pens, I limited myself. Yes, that's right, I showed some self-control on this trip and just got one. I think it might be scratchy and I'm not sure I'm gonna like that, but we'll see. And then I also picked up, because I, in this case, could not resist, this beautiful sailor ink. It's called Date Gokuro, and it's like this really beautiful plum color that looks like it's sort of, maybe not granulating per se, but gives you different colors of purple. So I'm definitely excited to try that. Dye ink. Pretty sure it's not waterproof, so I can't use it with watercolors, but it looks nice to write with, or just draw with. Then I also picked up some erasers because they were really inexpensive. I love the Tombow Mono. I have the really fine pencil type. I use it for every drawing. So I picked up this one, and then this is also a Tombow Mono, but it's called Air Touch. No idea what the difference is, but they were so inexpensive that I thought I would get them both and compare. And then I also got this cat eraser, which is so cute. It shows that it has, it looks like it has ears, but that's actually printed on the plastic, so it's a little misleading. I think a cat without ears might look weird, but we'll see how it goes. And the idea is that the shape of the cat will change over time, and I think that looks adorable. But yeah, I'm looking forward to using that. And then I bought some cartridges and ink cartridges for my Pilot Kakuno so I can try different inks in that, because I already have a waterproof India ink that I do want to use for watercolors, so then I can use that in this. And I also bought some mechanical pencils. The reason being is I found out, I think also from Gabrielle and Nico, that you can use mechanical pencils that auto-rotate, and when they do so, it means that your lead remains sharp all the time, so you don't have to continuously rotate the pencil in your hands. I think that's so cool, so I got 3 types. The Advanced, I think, is the one that rotates most frequently, and then there's just the regular Kuratoga. I got the regular Kuratoga because it has this, let's see, this metal-looking body to it, which I just thought looked really cool. That's it. It was just a design choice. So yeah, looking forward to trying those. So that's everything. Oh no, that's not true. I bought another pencil case because how could I not? Look how cute it is. It's Slowpoke. I guess his name is Yadon in Japanese. It's so adorable. And it even has a little Pokeball on it. Oh, it makes me so happy. So yeah, oh yeah. I bought more pins from Loft. Let's see what I got. Okay, I got some juice pins, which I also heard about online. Uniball 1s and Uniball Zentos. Like I said, I'm not really a pen person, but once you try these in store, like I was shocked about how smooth the experience was. It's just, they're such a pleasure to write with. And I think I'll even use them for drawing. I bought some other pens, spoiler alert, from Hands, which I especially am looking forward to drawing with. I also went to the Loft in Ginza, specifically to pick up all of these bad boys. I knew I was going to Japan, and I definitely wanted to purchase the Copic markers, the Copic sketch markers. So I picked up, I think, 56 of these. Whew, and that was a really large part of my expenditures for that trip. I think it cost me 26,500 yen or so, or 184 US dollars for just these. Whew, that kind of hurt, but I did it. So some things to know about Loft is, like I said, it's great for pens and stationery supplies. They do carry art supplies, but to a far lesser extent than Sekaido, because it's more of like a general store. Of the 4 stores I visited, Loft has the cheapest Copic markers. At Loft, they're only 420 yen, whereas everywhere else I looked, they are 462 yen each, which if you're only gonna get a few, it doesn't make that much of a difference, I suppose, but when you're buying 50 markers, that really does add up quickly. Loft also offers tax-free shopping, but it's the old school style where you're reimbursed for the tax at a special counter in the store. So you go, you check out, you are charged for the tax, then you take that receipt and all of your goods, plus your passport, and plus the credit card that you used, to a special counter where they do take a 1.55% commission fee for the pleasure of waiting in their long lines, which I went to Loft a few times as well, and the tax refund lines were also always long. I think the shortest line I waited in was like 25 minutes. So something to keep in mind, especially at the end of the day. Okay, that's everything I got at Loft. And then I went to Hands. It's a really fun store. They have a large pen and stationery collection. It's pretty on par with Loft, I would say. But they also carry a lot more unique craft supplies like paper theaters. Oh, I actually got one. Let me show you what that is. Like these. Of course it's Pokemon. Of course it's Pokemon. You put it together, it's like multiple layers of paper, and it creates a really cool like 3-dimensional thing. So I got one of Bulbasaur because Bulbasaur is my favorite starter, from Gen 1 anyways. So yeah, they have really cool crafts that you, or like craft projects that you can put together. So definitely worth checking out. And then When I thought I was done, my partner came up to me, took me by the hand, and brought me over to the pin station and was the most effective little devil on my shoulder because he was like, don't you need all of these? They are individual pin cartridges, and you can essentially make your own pins, which is such a cool concept to me. I've never seen anything like that before. So I was gonna say no originally, I was feeling strong, but then I found these fluorescent colors and that was the end. I had to have them. So I got these, and then I got every other color they had available. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with these. I think drawing with these will be interesting because these are not erasable as far as I know. Yeah, they're not a part of the friction line. I think that will be really good for me because drawing with pen is supposed to be one of the best ways to learn how to draw because every mark matters. You can't take it back. I'm looking forward to that. I think my perfectionist side might be distracted enough to find it fun because I'll have so many colors to work with, especially this one. I also picked up a watercolor brush and some more colored lead because I couldn't resist at this point. There was blood in the water. Once I pick up one item, shopping brain goes on full hardcore mode and then I can't stop. So yes, now I have every color of the rainbow for my mechanical pencils. This is an additional eraser for the friction line in case I somehow run out of every eraser on my other pens. It was super cheap, so I got it. And then, man, maybe I'm the only person in the world that didn't know about this, but I had no idea that you could buy lead in not only a different size, which of course, like I grew up with that much, but I didn't know you could also buy them in different hardnesses. So I picked up a few of those because I always sketch in 2H, and the idea of having really fine lines in 0.3 very much appeals to me. So I picked up a few of those to experiment with. And then I got some mild liners. These are really popular online. I can't say I really understand what the hype is all about, but I got to play with this one and this one on paper, and I really liked the color combination. So once again, I got something in a muted color palette. Who am I? I don't know who I am anymore, but I kind of like it. So that's everything I got from Hands. Is it? I think it is. So at Hands, I accidentally walked away with $43 more worth of pins. I fully blame my partner for this. I'm very happy with them. So like I said, Hands is really good for stationery supplies. They also have a smaller art supply department than Sekaido. Once again, they do carry a little bit of everything, including the Copic sketch markers for 462 yen. Hands also offers tax-free shopping where you're reimbursed at a special counter that also takes a small commission like Loft, but the lines weren't nearly as long as Loft. Okay, and then, oh no, okay. And then there's Itoya. So I didn't purchase anything for Itoya, so we'll leave this blank. No, we won't, because I purchased some other art supplies, but from Tsutaya Books. I'm not really going to talk about them because they're not an art store at all, but I bought these from Tsutaya. Anyway, you can look at these while I talk about Itoya really quick. So Itoya is a really cool 2-building store with 12 stories that's set amongst all of the ritzy designer stores in Ginza. So you already know that you're in for more of like a posh shopping experience. From the little bit of price comparison shopping I did there, they were more expensive than the other stores. So for example, the Holbein 15 milliliter gouache 24 set that I purchased at Sekaido cost 10,560 yen there, or around 73 US dollars. They do have the Copic sketch markers, but they're also just 462 yen like everywhere else. But it was really fun just to browse. Their floor of insanely expensive fountain pens and beautiful inks was unreal. It was magical. I didn't buy anything because it was really packed with people, and like this was my last art store that I went to, so by this point I was just shopped out because West Tokyo just feels like one gigantic mall, and I kind of felt a little sickened by all of the consumerism that I also participated in, of course. So at that point I was on a bit of a cleanse, I think, from shopping. Itoya does offer tax-free shopping, The other thing I think that's worth knowing about Itoya is that they have their own mini stamp rallies. If you don't know, Japan has stamps for feels like everything. So if you take the JR lines, then there's a stamp at every JR station, and I collected a lot of those, which was really fun. But Itoya also has their own, and they're really cool because it's one image and you go to multiple floors to fill in that image. It's a layered image. Before in the past, they had this ramen bowl that looked amazing. Oh, it looked like the most delicious bowl of ramen ever. But sadly, while I was there, I mean, not sadly, but a little sadly, they had a different image. They had actually one of Hokusai's Great Waves, and it makes for a really beautiful image. So if you're into stamp collecting, I would definitely recommend going by there just for the stamp. So in total, I spent around 61,000 yen or $445 on art supplies, not including these bags. Oh, and what's in these bags? Oh wait, okay, so these are technically, I would call these art supplies. You can belabor the point if you'd like. But I bought these bags, they're all Hokusai illustrations. This one is so cool. It looks like this rock diving down from the sky towards the mountain range. I bought it just for this one. And then here's another one. I'm gonna use these to store my art supplies, probably more specifically like my embroidery projects and my knitting projects. But while I was there, I already started using them for keeping track of, okay, we'll do that one last. Keeping track of my other small purchases. Okay, yeah. I did buy quite a lot of washi tape. This one in particular is washi tape that's just actually a string of stickers on it, and it's a bunch of illustrations from one of the Edo era artists of cats cleaning themselves and licking their butts, because I'm classy like that. Got some, what is this called? Astrology tape. I also went to the Ghibli, it's Ghibli. I bought this Suit Sprite washi tape, which is adorable, and also my Neighbor Totoro tape. And then I found this rainbow cat tape. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite. So fun. Oh yeah, and I got this onigiri tape from B-Side Label. Oh, B-Side Label was such a weakness for me. I spent so much money there. And I also ate like 2 or 3 onigiri every single day because I love onigiri. Oh yeah, these aren't really art supplies, but my partner came up to me with these and was like, do you want these? And the answer was yes. I don't know what I'm gonna use them for, but we've got the Magikarp line, the Slowpoke line, and of course, Psyduck. I think Psyduck is my closest relation in Pokemon. We share a lot of similarities, unfortunately, like migraines. And then I got, we went to every Pokemon center we could find. So we went to 2 in Osaka, 1 in Hiroshima, 1 in Kyoto, and then like 5 in Tokyo. At one in particular, in Tokyo, I believe, they had a gacha machine with water type Pokemon. So I got these 2. I really actually wish I had gotten more because they were so fun. I put them on my backpack while I was there and I felt like the coolest kid in Tokyo. And this is actually a keychain I bought in Korea, in Seoul. Okay, so yeah, I bought some washi tape. And then, oh boy, little backstory on Little Eve. When Little Eve was little, she wasn't good with stickers. Like, she kind of just hoarded the stickers that she got because she was waiting for that perfect moment, that perfect object to put her stickers on. So at a certain point, I think I was like 9, I realized that it was just more torture than pleasure having stickers because I could never decide what to put them on. So I stopped collecting stickers, but then once I started sketching, I wanted to put stickers on my sketchbook, and ever since then I have been kind of obsessed about sticker shopping. So yeah, this is all stickers. Oh, except for this beautiful bandana that I got. That is definitely art. Isn't that beautiful? Stunning. I love it. It's just a really nice keepsake of our trip. Okay, are you ready for the stickers? Oh boy. Don't judge me, don't come for me. let's just say I'm making up for lost time. B-side label was devastating for me. I think I spent like $56 at B-side. But they have the coolest stickers. I couldn't resist. Okay, so we have Anya from Spy X Family. How adorable is that? Onigiri, old school samurai on a skateboard. I won't describe all of these, that would take forever. But they're just really unique, so I had to. That's how that goes. I love this ramen girl and the egg earrings she has. And ramen. I love ramen. I actually didn't eat that much ramen. I think I only had like 4 bowls in total. I got this because my partner ate so many melon floats while we were there. This is really just a keepsake for him. Love this, so cool. More happy onigiri. A gigantic Magikarp. Yeah, I picked up a lot of Pokemon stickers that they had there. Oddish is one of my favorites. Slowpoke's one of my favorites. I accidentally wound up with 2 Poliwhirls. If I have any Pokemon fans in the audience, let me know. I can ship you one of these too. We can be Pokemon sticker pals. Mount Fuji. We didn't actually see Mount Fuji. We didn't have that many opportunities to. So I have, you know, something to look at. I don't know what I'm saying. These I got in a store in Korea, and I got them specifically for this hip ghost carrying a coffee and his cat. I love the expression of the cat. It's my favorite. I think this one's cool as well. And then, let's see. Oh yes. We rode the Shimanami Kaido. It's a really cool bike path that I would encourage you to look at if you are into biking. We did that over 2 days and it was so fun. Oh, it was like my favorite part of the trip. And then I got Pokemon stickers because yes, I did. And I did not hold back whatsoever. Look how cool this Xatu and Natu sticker is. It's sort of, is it holographic? Is that the word? It's like really shiny. No, holographic is when it's sort of 3D, right? And they're part of this thing called Psycho Cyber. I don't know what that's about, but I need to look into it. It's not a game, surely, because I keep on top of the games. Beautiful stickers. They have something called Pokemon Atelier. They have like really beautiful hand towels and pillowcases and even pajamas that are more like classy, I guess. They're for adults, I would say. And then really traditional looking cats. I'm definitely sharing these with some of my friends back home. More Shimanami Kaido cats. The Shimanami Kaido area is known for all of their citrus, which is why they have citrus hats. More traditional Edo era artists. Oh, Utagawa Hiroshiga specifically. And yes, I got it because this cat's licking his butt as well. I realized after the fact that I really gravitated towards cats. I mean, I appreciate cats, but this makes me look like a crazy cat lady. But then again, how can you resist? Like, who doesn't want cats trapped in a milk carton? They're so cute. Oh yeah, then I got some stickers from independent artists because we went to the Design Fest art gallery in Harajuku, which is a really cool little space where independent artists can set up their wares. More independent artist stickers. Oh, more Shimanami Kaido. Yeah. Okay, now that's everything. So with the art supplies and the art supply decorations, I spent in total $501 US, which yikes, I didn't know I would be spending that much. So Yeah, all I can say is that I have a lot of art in my future and probably a ban on buying any more art supplies until summer 2026. Unless they're fluorescent colored pencil, because I need those and I regret not buying the Holbein open stock fluorescent colored pencils. But here we are. Somehow I'm sure I will survive with all the supplies I have. Getting my supplies home was easier than I expected, as from the research I did before going, technically you're supposed to keep all of your tax-free purchases and their receipts in your carry-on so that customs officers can confirm that you're leaving the country with the items that you purchased. If you don't have them on you, then they assume you have sold them to Japanese citizens and have made some sort of profit. Obviously, you can't bring your paints and other liquid-based supplies in your carry-on if they're larger than, I think it's 100 milliliters or roughly 3 point something ounces, or if you have a total capacity larger than the 1 liter bag that you're allowed to bring on. So you're literally required to stow them in your checked luggage, so keeping your tax-free items on you isn't really enforceable. But if you're worried about being fined or being made to pay the tax on items that you can't prove because you've checked them, you can always go to a customs agent before checking your bags, and then you can show them that you do have all the tax-free items in your luggage. But in reality, from my research that I did, i.e. mainly Reddit, so take that as you will, they rarely enforce or screen travelers, so I chose to just pack my paints in my checked luggage without notifying anyone, and everything was fine. If you're only in Tokyo for a few days and you're pressed for time, I would recommend making Sekaido and Shinjuku your primary art store because their selection is extensive and the prices are definitely reasonable. Hands and Loft they actually have multiple stores in Tokyo, so if you're really into stationery supplies, you'll probably just naturally come across them, but maybe you want to save them on your Google Maps so that you don't somehow miss out. I meant to visit Tools and Pigment, like I said, so sadly I don't have any information for you on those. If I've missed any art stores in Tokyo that are worthwhile, or stores that definitely have the best deals on certain products, please let me know in the comments below. I think for me personally, this was probably a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Not sure I'll ever get to go back because there are so many other places I'd like to go to. But maybe your comments will be helpful to another viewer that's about to visit Japan. Okay, that's it. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, bye!